Welcome back to Roosevelt Field. CB West up on Norristown 21-7 after one half of football. And CB West will be kicking off to Norristown. Norristown really needs to get off to a good start in this third quarter, really after getting some rest at halftime.
Right, and again, we'd like to thank Lieutenant Governor Mark Schweiker for being here. Certainly adds a little more flavor to the broadcast, and you certainly feel the electricity that someone of that importance is here at Roosevelt Field.
That high kick once again to Audley Stewart. Breaks a couple of tackles this time. Once again, that high kick proving to be effective, only allowing him 3 or 4 yards on the run back. So Norristown will start from about their own 27-yard line to start this third quarter.
It's a good thing that the Eagles have the ball to start this first half. If they could put a touchdown on the board right here and only be one touchdown down with a lot of the third quarter and all the fourth quarter to go, they would be in very, very good shape.
I think that Norristown keeping this close in the first half, it's 2 touchdowns, but it's still winnable. I think when you get to that third touchdown spot, Blake will hand off to Swittenberg. He's stopped by the CB West line. Well, as I was saying, I think when you get to that 3 touchdown down point, you really start to doubt whether you can come back or not.
Right, and if your touchdowns were given up because of bad field position, or you've made a lot of mistakes to give the other team the ball in a good spot, then maybe you have a little more confidence. You just have to cut down on the mistakes. In this case, it's just been Central Bucks West getting the ball and converting, scoring the touchdown. So you get 3 touchdowns down, and you haven't shown that you can stop them on a consistent basis. That is a little bit too much to overcome.
Give Swittenberg 1 on the carry. 2nd and 9 for Norristown. Backs in the eye. Blake back to pass. Looks up top for Hadrick, up in the air. That's a dangerous play. That ball gets tipped. Pass looking for Trey Hadrick over the middle.
And that shows the strength of Chris Blake's arm that time, that he bounced it off of Trey Hadrick's hands. But a nice play call on the mid-range pass to try and get themselves into a 3rd and short situation, or maybe even convert on that 2nd down. Now they will be a 3rd and 9, and again, they go 3 and out here. The field position starts to swing, so a very big play early in the second half.
Norristown with a receiver on each side, backs in the eye. Blake drops back to pass, pressure on him. It's out to Darrell Johnson, breaking some tackles, and that's a 1st down for Norristown. Great run by Darrell Johnson, and good vision by Chris Blake, seeing that lineman coming at him to find Darrell Johnson out in the flat.
Yes, an excellent play, and Darrell Johnson wisely found the open space out there to just settle down, find a little spot where Chris Blake could dump the ball to him, and that play was made by Troy Ellis, number 51, got off the offensive line, came over and just cleaned a Central Bucks defender right on out of there, let Darrell Johnson cut inside for the 1st down.
So Norristown with, as we said, a big play, and they got it there. Blake back to pass again, looking for Damian Solomon. Pass was tipped at the line. An incomplete pass. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
And again, Norristown looking for the short-range pass, and that time it was there again. Except you have to keep those linemen's hands down, and good job that time by the lineman to put those hands up, getting Chris Blake's passing lane.
Blake, the quick handoff to Darrell Johnson. Johnson getting a couple yards. That handoff to Johnson has proved to be effective the couple of times that they've done it tonight.
Absolutely, that's Darrell Johnson's 4th carry of the night. Had 19 yards on his first 3 carries in that first half. Going to pick up 2 on that one.
And Darrell Johnson with the few runs he's had tonight, and he caught that pass out in the flat and broke it for a 1st down. Really stepping up tonight, and he appears to be having a very nice game for Norristown. So 3rd and 8, 4 receivers using everybody. Ernie Terrell, the receiver closest to this side. Blake looks over the middle, finds James Edmonds for the first down.
And such a nice catch by Edmonds to get down on the ground, corral that ball. Chris Blake again threw it in a very good spot, a little behind Edmonds, but nice and low where James Edmonds could catch it and nobody else could get down there. James Edmonds, another one of those big Norristown receivers. He's a nice target for Chris Blake to find coming across the middle. And they called the play well. Edmonds ran a great pattern to get past the first down marker, and Chris Blake, no trouble with the 10-yard completion.
Trey Hadrick at 6'2", James Edmonds at 6'3", Ernie Terrell at 6'2", Damian Solomon at 6'2". It just doesn't stop for Norristown receiver-wise, and that's the first time we see him use 4. Blake fumbled the snap, looks out to Darrell Johnson. Good recovery from Chris Blake to just settle down, say, okay, I still have a little bit of time. Let's try and complete a pass here.
And that's discipline, and it's confidence in the play, and it's knowing the play. Chris Blake has to feel that timing. He has to know when he fumbles the ball like that, how is that going to throw his timing off? He obviously recognized that, did not rush himself, calmly picked the ball up off the ground, and knew that Darrell Johnson would still be running the pattern. The fumble did not throw Blake off his timing enough so that the pattern was ruined, and he just popped right back up and found Darrell Johnson exactly where he knew he'd be.
So Norristown moving the ball a little bit. The other half at midfield on the 40-yard line of CB West. Blake back to pass again, looking for Swittenberg. Swittenberg breaking a tackle. It's very close to the first down marker. Well, that's the first time we've seen that screen pass to Troy Swittenberg.
Yeah, not only this game, but all year. And you asked how could they get Troy Swittenberg involved? Well, it doesn't have to be taking the ball in the handoff out of the backfield. Troy Swittenberg can do many, many things. And what you basically want to do is get him into that open field. That's a good way to do it, by throwing that swing pass. And a nice touch by Chris Blake. You put it out in front of that ball carrier where he can just reel it in and keep heading forward. And again, Troy Swittenberg was stopped short of that first down, but he really fought for that extra 2 yards. And he got it by the nose of the football. That's what I thought from the start. And Troy Swittenberg just got the yardage that he needed. So a good fight by Troy Swittenberg to not take Norristown to a third down situation.
Well, they were measuring that one by millimeters. I got to tell you, that was really close. Troy Swittenberg gets Norristown another first down on this drive. So Norristown moving the ball with 7:53 left in this third quarter. This is what they need to do. They need to start up the offense, and they need to come out and have a nice little drive here. Once again, 4 receivers for Norristown. Hadrick, Terrell, and Solomon on this side, James Edmonds on the other. Blake back to pass. The quick one over the middle.
Well, Greg, Norristown has made the changes they need to make. They've adapted their offense. They went into that locker room, realized what was working for them, what was not working for them, and they've obviously come out looking for that mid-range pass. Chris Blake now in this first 5 minutes of the second half alone, 3 for 5 after a 4 for 9 first half. So the Eagles certainly comfortable going to the air. Now it's 2nd and 10.
Norristown 4 receivers once again, playing like it's the last game, like the Super Bowl, which it really is here tonight with this atmosphere. Blake back to pass, man rushing, find Damian Solomon wide open. A great pattern from Damian Solomon. Blake stayed in that pocket, stayed real calm with a guy running in his face, and Damian Solomon catches that ball for a big gain for Norristown.
And a beautiful throw. Again, an excellent pattern. Unfortunately, it's going to come back as the Eagles are flagged for holding on that first really destructive penalty we've seen from the Eagles tonight. As Norristown put for those 4 receivers into the pattern, and Central Bucks West obviously not ready for a formation like that. Norristown found their big receiver in Damian Solomon, but now it's going to come back.
Well, Walt, I looked down for a second, and everybody was really happy. And then I looked down, and all of a sudden I heard the air just go out of everybody. I looked up, and we're walking back 10 yards. I was wondering what happened.
Yep, the moaning and groaning certainly gave it away. If you missed the yellow hanky on the field, the crowd reaction was See the reaction in the booth as well from those who are partisan Norristown fans. From the spot of the foul, so it's back to 2nd and 23.
So Norristown, that 4 wide receiver offense, looks like it's going to help right here. Blake on the option to Swittenberg. Swittenberg breaking some tackles with a nice gain there. Well, that kind of deceives the defense. You have 4 wide receivers. You're kind of expecting the pass. All of a sudden, wow, Troy Swittenberg got the ball.
Right, it does keep the defenders on their heels a little bit, as you see the Norristown get 8 yards. They're trying to eat into that yardage that they lost on the penalty, but they're still going to be in a 3rd and very long situation. The option that time worked for some good yardage, but had Norristown not been in the 2nd and very long, probably wouldn't have gone for as much as it did that play.
So Norristown with 3rd and 16. That penalty really bumping them back here. Blake back to pass. The man in his face looking deep for Ernie Terrell, and it's brought in by Terrell. Wow, Ernie Terrell. Chris Blake just threw that ball out there, and once again, yet another receiver that fights off the D-back and makes a nice catch.
Again, another adjustment, and West is just another in the list of teams who's not ready to adjust to those Norristown receivers, changing their patterns, coming back to the ball. Chris Blake again puts in a beautiful spot where his receiver can adjust on that sideline, screen the defender off legally, and just reel the ball in. Great play by Norristown on the 3rd and 16. They have a lot of long pass plays in their playbook.
This formation working for Norristown. Handoff to Swittenberg up the middle. He'll get a couple. It's up by that huge Central Bucks line. Well, Walt, pretty much basic stuff here. They have 5 guys on the line. They got a running back, they have a quarterback, and 4 receivers. This is really turning into kind of a backyard game where you just put everybody out as a receiver and you got to 2-hand touch them.
Well, the key to the Norristown attack, putting those 4 receivers out, is that every single one of them is a threat. You absolutely have to respect the pass catching ability of all 4 receivers and the back, Troy Swittenberg. So you can't lay off anybody. Somebody's going to be open.
2nd and 6 for Norristown. Blake calling the play at the line. Drops back to pass. Looks up top. The fade pattern to Ernie Terrell. But I believe Ernie Terrell is going to be called for pushing off. And I think they're going to call him, throw another flag on him for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. That one's going to hurt, folks.
Yeah, and Ernie Terrell just got a word from Troy Swittenberg, who is, Troy Swittenberg's taking the pounding tonight. And he sees a penalty like that. As one of these team leaders, he's not too appreciative. You got the pass interference, you got the unsportsmanlike conduct, both of them on Ernie Terrell. You can't blame him for the pass interference. He's just trying to get to that ball, and he was deep in that corner. So it was a pretty obvious foul. He extended the arms, and it was a pretty obvious call, but you have to compose yourself and contain yourself, especially when it was a fairly easy play to call. Ernie Terrell has to know that he pushed off on that play, that, okay, I tried to get away with it, and I didn't get away with it. Everybody does it. It's a matter of getting caught. And it's a perfectly logical thing, at least to attempt in the situation in which Ernie Terrell was. But to get that unsportsmanlike conduct after just a tremendous Norristown drive, it's devastating. It's devastating, and Roger Grove is hot.
Folks, Norristown walking back a long way. And I don't think I can count that high, so I'm going to trust the scoreboard and say we have a 3rd and 36.
Yeah, they'll need a team bus to cover this. The strong arm of Chris Blake is going to be tested here, and I think you're going to see Norristown put 4 more guys out into that pattern.
And I'm guessing Central Bucks West is not going to put 8 guys on the line.
They have a 4-man line, and they're probably just going to contain Chris Blake.
Blake back to pass once again. Eludes a man. Finds Ernie Terrell. He'll fight for as many yards as he can get. Definitely not near enough to get the first down.
And Chris Blake had to take the short man on that time. The outside pressure forced Chris Blake to the inside and to sort of hop out of that pocket. The pressure was so great that even pushed Chris Blake's lineman back into him. Almost tripped him up. And in that case, all Chris Blake could do was sort of squirt to the outside of the pocket and throw a low strike to Ernie Terrell.
And well, at this point in the game, 4:40 left, Norristown's strategy on third down appeared to just be, let's cut down the yardage a little bit. So on 4th and 22, a nice pass, and we have a first down. Because right now, 3 points is going to get it to 21-10. And with that ball control offense of CB West, you might not see the ball for a while.
Right, obviously Norristown is going to have a play that's going to cover these 22 yards, get them into the end zone. They have shown some big pass plays already tonight, even in situations which were obvious passing situations. In this case, however, the Bucks know that Norristown has no choice. It's got to cover the 22 yards or West gets the ball back, and really that's all they care about. So they'll drop a lot of guys back. They'll come with those 4 big linemen who actually got really good pressure on Chris Blake that last pass play. Only 4 linemen up, and the good outside pressure forced Chris Blake to throw short. So West will probably come out with the same look again, line a couple guys up on that goal line, and look for that deep throw into the end zone.
As much pressure as Chris Blake got on that last play, well, I don't remember a time in this game that Chris Blake has been sacked yet.
No, he's very good at eluding pressure. I mentioned before that he really avoids it well. He feels it. It's coming from his blind side especially well, and manages to just move out of the pocket as much as he needs to. He's very good at stepping up into the pocket, does it very confidently, a lot of poise, and that's why he hasn't been sacked, because he knows when to hold it, when to get rid of the ball.
So now Norristown, 4th and 22, the 4 receivers once again. Blake will throw up in the air. The receiver, number 88, Ernie Terrell, couldn't get back to the ball. Fans wanting a flag, but that will be a turnover on downs. And that CB West defense got to be feeling good that they stopped a pretty nice drive from Norristown.
It was a great drive. Norristown really had the Bucks back on their heels. Came out with an attack that the Bucks were not ready for. They were just not ready for the 3 and 4 receivers into that pattern. And in this case, it was a big penalty. So the Bucks gave Norristown some chances with some penalties in the first half. Now Norristown returned the gift.
So now CB West on first down. Quarterback Mike Orahel will lead the offense. Handoff to Dustin Picciotti. Once again, he'll just fight through and get as many yards as he can. I remember hearing a whistle on that play. He could probably get up and keep running, apparently.
It's a straight ahead power run for Picciotti. He loves to keep those legs turning, and you definitely have to play until the whistle sounds, because Picciotti does not give up. No give up in his running style. And you'll see the effects of that late in the 3rd quarter and into that 4th quarter, when that defense is just getting beat up by Picciotti constantly. And West hasn't even run him as much as they could have tonight.
So West on 2nd and 7. Once again, Picciotti, he just kind of throws himself in there and gets the yardage.
Good initial contact that time by 51, Troy Ellis, yet again showing the form that earned him the Times Herald Defensive Player of the Week for the first week of the season. Troy Ellis in on almost every tackle, and they need a lot of guys to bring down Picciotti. It's that first contact that's so important. Troy Ellis, usually the man making that first contact tonight.
So a 3rd and 1 for CB West, and if I were to put money down on it, I'm thinking they're going to Dustin Picciotti right now.
Yeah, any of those 3 guys can get 1 yard, but Picciotti's a guarantee.
Orahel, handoff to Picciotti. Trey Hadrick, a nice job of standing him up at midfield, waiting for some help. But Dustin Picciotti just broke through there. Norristown obviously trying to stop him. And we're going to get a flag on the play.
Yeah, there were some words there. It was between Picciotti and Troy Swittenberg. We'll see if they give the teams matching penalties in this case, as the officials are trying to keep this one from getting out of hand. And the unsportsmanlike was called against Central Bucks West. So it was Picciotti, obviously, who initiated that conversation. Troy Swittenberg wisely backed off. So Norristown now getting into the helmet a little bit of Central Bucks West. Certainly not the tactic you would advise, but Picciotti obviously didn't like what was done or said in that case, and that's going to move the Bucks back 15.
And once again, Dustin Picciotti will probably hear about that one for a while at practice this week, to say that against 3-0 teams, you can't do that. You have to keep your head against a team like Norristown. So CB West will have a long way to go for a first down. This 1st and 25. Orahel. The pitch is out to Edwards. Edwards cuts to the sideline, and the tackle made over there by number 5, Audley Stewart.
West is going to go right back to what they do well. They're going to keep running the ball. They love to run it to that right side. And even on the 1st and long, after the unsportsmanlike call,
after the play, you get the first down, you mark the slot. It should have been 1st and 25 for my rule book. I can't believe the coach.
Chris says they just moved it back 15 yards and gave him a 1st and 10 from there. So CB West maybe getting a little bit lucky there. Handoff to Edwards. He'll be just short of the first down. A position that CB West has seemed to have been in a lot tonight. 3rd and 1.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, but it's a questionable 3rd and 1. There is some confusion around the stadium and in the press box right now as Dustin Picciotti got that first down on that big 3rd and 1 run. Then the unsportsmanlike penalty was called. Should have been moved back on that first down for the 1st and 25. Instead, they were given a 1st and 10. They were moved back, but given a 1st and 10. And now 3rd and 1.
CB West is not a team that needs help, and they appear to have gotten a little bit there. To Orahel again.
Takes a snap, it's a gift to Picciotti.
He'll hand off to Picciotti. A huge hit on him at the line, but just so strong to fight for that first down to spin off the lineman.
Where there was a huge hit right there, but the first down marker is right near the 45-yard line at about the 46. We have a perfect view right down that line, and Dustin Picciotti was past that first down marker before the hit was administered. In that case, that's forward progress. He's got the first down, so Norristown has to do a little better job of trying to stand up that massive offensive line of the Bucks and not let the big running backs of West get across that line of scrimmage.
Now, West on 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Orahel the handoff to Picciotti. Breaks through there. Gets a good piece of yardage, about 6 yards on the play. They are over midfield. They are driving. And I got to think the word pass is not in their offense right now.
Not when they're down to 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter and they're up by 2 TDs. There's no reason to throw the ball right here. Norristown has not stopped them yet, and there is really no reason to put that ball up in the air when what they're doing right now is successful.
Actually, I'm just going to let the quarter run out.
A 2nd and 4 for West. Picciotti again on the outside. A run that you'd usually see from a tailback, but it's dangerous when a fullback gets to the outside and he gets a first down.
Yeah, and there's just so much room over there. That right side of the West line is really clearing Norristown out now. And Norristown's going to have to bring a few more guys up there on run support, almost challenge the West offense to pass the ball. But they don't fall into challenges much, Greg. They've already run this 3rd quarter out. It's going extremely quickly. Norristown doesn't know what hit them, as West is just grinding this clock down right now, marching down the field.
So at the end of the 3rd quarter, 21-7 West, no scoring in that 3rd quarter.
And you can bet that that's the way Mike Pettin likes it. He has not won 299 games by having an ego and wanting to run the scores up. He does the smart thing, uses his system that he has for that year, and is extremely disciplined in staying within his game, getting on top early. We saw West do it again this year. That's what they do. They get up early, and they're good at holding leads. And Greg, you know, loss in this great game has been obviously the milestone that Coach Mike Pettin is going for. Looking to join only Coach Curry at Berwick as the only coaches in Pennsylvania with 300 victories. Coach Curry has 315 and counting, so Mike Pettin certainly within reach. But his tremendous record has coaches all around the state, coaches, journalists, just fans in awe. I mean, Mike Pettin is winning 9 of every 10 games. Started at Central Bucks High School in 1967. A few years later, they split into Central Bucks East and West, and that put him through a little bit of a rebuilding. But now, obviously, this team is a national powerhouse, again ranked #1 in the state, and just off and rolling. Again, he is getting his toughest challenge of the season, maybe the toughest challenge he'll see all year, right here tonight. And Norristown can certainly be proud of their effort.